Like one of the things that I've seen is that, a CFO, like CFO services are needed. I think like as you're growing, but like not everyone can afford it, right? So like one of the things that has made, like our business successful and has helped us like grow consistently was like we took these consultations, right? This is how like our LLM plan was created. So we knew that people like needed to generate leads, a position where they didn't have the budget, where we were sending the like setting the appointments for them. One of the things that I was like, man, I was like, I didn't want to sign up people for starter because I was like, they just don't have enough. They don't have a foundation for me to actually like make them successful. So what can I do? What can I offer them to make them successful so they can grow with me and with my service to also increase the lifetime value of my clients, right? So it took me like a year to come up with this, but the reason I'm sharing this with you is because this is something that you guys can, a product that you guys can create or a service for your firm where you're still giving people what they need, but it's not taking like all of your time where you would have to like charge as much as you do, where companies can grow with you, right? I think that an assessment, it's like so great because like an assessment, it would be a little bit more detailed than just like a proposal. But like if you can spend, let's say 3 or 4 hours on an account and just kind of like going through their financials and doing your due diligence and like create like a roadmap of like, listen, based on my analysis, based on, me looking at your finances, this is what's happening to the business right now. And in order for you to get where you want, these are the things that you need to do. This is the thing that you need to pay attention to on a monthly basis. When this is where your cash flow needs to be, this is where your sales needs to be, this is where your expenses need to be in order for you to actually grow in this way, right? You can sell that assessment, which is like an advisory piece of like higher level CFO, but then you can charge $2,500 for that. I think that when we think about creating offers, right? Like we think about, well, if I don't show up or if I don't give them a certain amount of hours, like they're not going to see the value of what I'm offering. But actually, like that's your perception. So if you, let's say, okay, so a lot of people right now, you guys are selling tax plans. Plans are the thing. Are they doing anything that's super different than what a CPA should actually be doing to help their clients save on taxes? Not really. They just know more than the average CPA, or they have the time to do the research, or they've done training, and then they're compositing all of these strategies, and then they can either charge to implement it or they don't. A lot of like, because I used to work for a company that taught clients how to do tax planning right when it was becoming popular in 2018. And what they were teaching them to do was, like I said, an assessment where you write a document where it gives them like, hey, these based on your particular situation. It was very customized to the client. Like these are the strategies that I would recommend you do throughout the years so that when you get that, if you do these things, you're going to save X amount of money. Let's think about, instead of a tax plan, it's almost like a business plan. How you can create like a reoccurring revenue or put more value into an offer like that. People pay for two things, right? They pay either for you to do services or they pay you to hold them accountable and make sure that they are on track. So if you sell a business advisory package, right, that maybe they can't afford to pay you 25, 5,000, 8,000 a month, right? But they would really benefit for something like that. And these, I would say that you could offer these to businesses that are doing under $1 million in revenue, because like businesses can't really afford an outsourced CFO services until they get to about 1.5 million. There's such a huge pool of opportunity for those businesses that, even I remember when we were doing like 350K, I actually hired someone to be like an outsourced CFO. He didn't do his job like at all and kind of helped me, but not really. But I was still paying $1,250 a month for him to do that and take care of my books. So, but like, I think that it is so valuable. And I say this just from like dealing with business owners and also from listening you guys like talk to me about like, especially like my clients that offer like higher CFO services, that like people want what you have to offer. Actually, they want more the CFO advisory more than they want the compliance stuff. The compliance stuff is a necessity because they have to do taxes, but like that advisory, that's where people find the most value in what you offer, right? So if you create a package where it's like, okay, and I'm just throwing numbers out there, like you create a whole business plan and you have like actionable items that they should do in order to get to that level. What is $5,000 if they follow this level and they're gonna add 150, 300, 500K to their business? That's chump change. Yeah. Would you make an investment on a $5,000 thing if it could get you to $500,000? I would. What would make this offer attractive? It would be the fact that like you're taking your time, you're taking your expertise, and you're doing what they cannot or don't know to do for themselves in their business to reach a certain goal, right? So like the deliverable, like, so that's how you would persuade them to take action. Mm-hmm. But like, and then I think that, depending on how you want to, they can put it on a credit card or something, okay? But let's say that you do a full in-depth assessment of their business, of the finances, and also a plan on how they're going to get to where they want to be. And then you say, I've given you actionable items within this assessment. Number 1, this is what you need to do. Number 2, this is what you need to do. Number 3, this is what you need to do. This is the roadmap for you to get from $250 to $1 million. Now, these are the steps that you need to take, okay? You, the business owners, this is what you need to do with your accounting. This is what you need to do with this. Now, our goal is to reach this within the next 12 months, okay? So, with this assessment or my advisory package that I have for business owners like yours, that honestly, you shouldn't be paying for CFO services at your size, because businesses of your size don't need a CFO, but they do need the guidance, okay? Once you get to 1.5 million, then it would be more beneficial for you to work with. What's that going to do to the prospect? It's going to make them trust you, because it's not going to seem like you're just trying to sell them into working with you. Like, you have standards. If they didn't have the foundation, they can't be in my higher level services. Then you say, but what I do, one of the things that I've noticed is that I have done these assessments and these business advisory packages for business owners. And one of the biggest reasons why a lot of them don't reach, not a lot of them, why some of them don't reach their goals for one reason. They have the game plan, but they take no action on it. And if you are someone that feels like I can give you a roadmap, but you're not going to follow the directions or you're not going to take actions, then I wouldn't purchase this, okay? But my clients that do work with me and do participate on this assessment or purchase, this advisory package, what I do is I meet with them every quarter to go over what have they done. Is there anything that has changed? Is there anything that we have to adjust to that assessment? Now, your offer just became super valuable, right? Now it's like a long-term engagement, because they're going to be like, I have an actual advisor. And then you can kind of decide on whether or not, how much time does that meeting take? What are the things that, you are going to offer in those meetings? How much changes are you willing to make to that strategy or not? That's something that you have to decide. But this is like a really great offer for you to offer a business owner. Like, if you're doing CFO services, but it's a great like one-time fee that you can charge, that as they grow, they're already going to look at you as their advisor, right? Business advisor. And as they grow, guess who they're going to want to handle the other stuff that you may offer? You, right? Because you've guided them in the right direction. And it's also an offer. So when you come up with this offer, you need to come up with a fee where that quarter meeting comes or that client like hasn't reached their goal. What's a fee that's not going to get you annoyed that like, oh my God, they already paid, but I have to service them. It can't be, it has to be 5,000, 7,000, right? Because it's high level and there's a lot of value. People equate, if they're not an expert in the field of what you're selling, their perception of what you charge to the quality, that's how they're going to judge the quality of the product that you're selling. Most business owners have so much to think of that like thinking about like, oh, I have a bookkeeper, but then I have to find a CPA. Like, it's just too much friction. It's one more thing that they have to manage and juggle. Some people don't care, but like, it's better to be upfront. Like, if you absolutely don't want to do their tax returns or you don't have the ability to do it, so it's better just to be upfront, because some people just want a bookkeeper because they've been working with their CPAs for years, right? But you are going, like, even when we set appointments for the clients, like some people are like, well, I'm looking for bookkeeping and tax. And we're like, well, this person only offers like bookkeeping. They can, we can set you up with someone that does taxes. And they're like, no, I'm looking for someone that's like a one-stop shop. It's not, like I said, it's going to create more friction in your sales process, but it's not like a deal breaker for most people, but for some people it actually is. So what I would do is either only offer bookkeeping services and like not mention like taxes, because even with tax planning, they're going to be like, well, how can you plan my taxes if you don't do taxes? Just because like I've been doing it for 10 years and I've been working with clients in this, like actually most people want their bookkeeping and their taxes to be done at the same time, because what happens is a lot of times when the bookkeepers send over the stuff to the CPAs like, oh, this needs to get fixed. And then they have to go back to the bookkeeper. And so there's like a loss in translation that happens. Not, I'm saying with you guys, but like majority of people. And so it's like, the client is like, oh my gosh, I need to file my taxes. And like my CPA is not accepting these books. And why didn't my bookkeeper do that? Let's say you like bundle your the taxes and the bookkeeping, right? So you can charge $750 for their individual return and you can charge $2,000 for their business tax, right? And then let's say you're charging $500 a month for their bookkeeping. Okay, it's going to be much easier if you put that in a package. So let's just do the math here real quick. So let's say that you charge $2,000 for their individual return plus $750 for their, $2,000 for their business, $750 for their individual return. That alone is $2,750 plus $500 a month for their bookkeeping. That's another $6,000, right? And then you say, yeah, Joe, no problem. Like if you're looking for taxes and bookkeeping, we can take care of all of that. Not only your monthly bookkeeping, reconciliations, P&L, profit and loss statements, but we will also take care of your individual and your business tax returns, all for, a monthly investment of $729. The smartest, way to grow your practice is to have that monthly reoccurring revenue. But if I can make it convenient for my prospect to have a one-stop shop and I'm able to do the taxes, I would 100% do that. Like you see, if you do those two services, like a lot of people fire their bookkeeper or their CPA because they had such a bad experience during tax season that stressed them out that they're just like, think about yourself this way when you're running a sales call, okay? Because you guys are service providers, okay? If you're feeling chest pains, okay? And you're like, man, I don't know, I feel like my arm's getting numb, I don't know what's going on, never felt this before. Yes, you know that a cardiologist is going to be expensive. And if you have a problem, right? And you might go in there and you might look to a cardiologist from your insurance and whatever, right? But at the end of the day, depending on how you are about how, let's say if you have, if your family doesn't have any history of cardio problems, you're going to be like, oh, whatever, I'll just go with whatever doctor, blah, 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 right? But if your dad, your brother, your sister, your mother, and everyone in your family has cardiac problems, who are you going to look for? You're going to try to read the reviews and be like, who's the best cardiologist? You're going to ask friends about it, right? So you have to think about yourself in this way. You're going to consultation, whether the prospect is trying to ask you for a price in the beginning or not. I want you to focus on, number one, really just understanding why they're on this call with you. What are the pain points that they're having? And that's it. I don't want you to focus at all on how much is this going to cost or what are they willing to pay, because at the end of the day, we are not mind readers. So we don't know. And a lot of times when we try to read their mind, we underbid ourselves. You want to grow your business, you gotta close, and I will help you become a savage in closing.